Hello, this is Ellen LaBelle here, and I am showing you, I have already started a swatch from 30 left to 30 right. This is going to be the standard watch for as you do for, to use the green ruler, and I'm not going to go into that right now. I'm using a yellow cotton that I have left over, and I think I have it enough for the sweater, and some leftover self-patterning yarn that's about the same thickness. And I'm going to see how that works on the knit-along yoke sweater. Now, the knit-along yoke sweater comes with a chart here, and this is what is given for the 24 punch card. I am using a Brother KH950, and it's not turned on yet, but here it is. Okay, and I'm going to now set it up to knit FairIsle so that I have my FairIsle swatch. So this is it. It is a 6-stitch pattern repeat, which is exactly what she says here. It's a 6-stitch repeat, and I have prepared already my mylar sheet. This pattern on the bottom here is something else. It's a Gansey Celtic Storm jacket that I did, but this is my sheet for Irene's yoke pattern. Now, to do the marking on the mylar sheet, I use grease pencils, and I must thank Irene Court for teaching me how to do that. But here is a grease pencil, and I needed to buy a China marker, what they call. Okay, and I'm going to do it down here in this area that I'm not going to use. You just draw in the square that you need to, and you're careful not to go out of bounds, and if you do, you use a good eraser that does not wipe off the blue markings. Okay, so you just follow the pattern. I have included the 2 lines between patterns. Okay, so I've done it exactly as she said. Okay, and now we have to put the pattern into the machine. Now, I have marked on my sheet that this yoke pattern, I know it's from line 46 to line 100 and from column 1 to column 6. This I need to know in order to put the pattern into the machine. Okay, so I'm going to pause and now start the machine. Marking the pattern card is on page 53 and 54 of the user guide, and I use the guide every time I do this because I do forget. Okay, how to set the pattern guide is on page 55. Now this I remember how to do. Okay, so I have my pattern card, and I have set up the little rings that hold it in place in this little gizmo here. And I put it in the slot, but I'm holding the phone so it's not going in very easily. Come on. There. And I want it to go in straight as possible. Okay. And I do not turn the machine on yet. There's a little knob, there's a little dial here. I roll it to the set line, which in French is called the ligne de départ. Okay, and I want to make it as straight as possible so that I see the line as straight as possible. There we go. That should do it. Okay, Now I have to turn the machine on, and it's on. The green light is on, and now we go over here. All my little things are down, okay? What I have to do is I have to enter a pattern number. So I enter 990 memory. Then you make sure that all your little knobs are in the correct position for FairIsle. This will be everything down here. This one is also, it's an all-over pattern, so it goes down. And I set the memory button again. And now it tells me it wants the pattern number. Because it's a Mylar sheet that I have created, it is not a pattern that is integrated into the machine. The pattern number is 901, and I set the memory. Now it wants the bottom line of the pattern, and as I said, here on my pattern sheet, the bottom line is 46. Here's 45, 46 is just above that, and I go all the way over, and that is my bottom line. So 46, and I click the memory, and the top was 100, so I click the memory, and I go from column 1 to column 6, and now it tells me it's ready, but it hasn't been set yet. Oh, I have to read the card. So now I go to CF, and it is reading the card. Okay. By the way, on the card I also marked the lines where I have the two rows of main yarn, so that I know to I can see that that's coming. I don't have to count. Okay. Okay. So now I have to bring my carriage all the way over to the left, and I have to go past the turn mark. Okay, so I've gone past the turn mark, and now I want to set the KC button for KC. I'm not yet ready to knit FairIsle. Okay, and now I come all the way back, and you can see that the belt is now engaged, or you can hear that the belt is now engaged. And I bring it all the way over here. And that did not work. Why did that not work? And I found out why it didn't work, because it wasn't straight. This happens. So now I'm going to do that again, and I'll come back to you when I have it set up correctly. So, this is how it should look. When it picks up the stitches, it doesn't pick up. It selects the needles for the first row, and I am on the right, okay, for the first row. Now, this is important. You bring your second yarn in, just a minute. I have to, just a second. Okay, I'm going to put a weight on this so that it hangs down, or I could attach it to the clamp, but I don't have two hands available. Okay, then push in the FairIsle button so that it knits correctly. Okay, so that's the FairIsle button. I'm on KC1, okay, and I am now going to knit the pattern. need to put my weights on the side here, just a second. I have a tendency to forget those weights. There we go, up. Oh, and this is a row that does not need the second yarn. Just a minute here. I'm going to put that onto the side. And go across. Now here, because I'm using the machine, I have to be very careful to push back these end, excuse me, I forgot here, these end needles so that they knit. And here we go. Let's just do that way. Okay. And the second one, second row like that. And now it has selected needles again, and I put the second yarn back in. Okay, and I continue now. And you can see as I do this that the sheet moves forward each time I change direction. And it's selecting, and on this row it's not going to select anymore because we are on a row that only requires the main yarn. And I can see that on my sheet I have the two little rows marked here. So I take out the second yarn, and I pushed back the end needles. One and two. The needles are selected. And you just keep going on like that. I'm going to put it on pause. Okay, I have done a swatch, and I've done a few rows at N, here, N, with no FairIsle, just plain knitting, and I'm going to take it off. Just a minute. I want it to land in my lap, so just a second here. There we go. Take off the comb and the weight, and let's look at this. This is not bad for the FairIsle. I kind of like it. This would make a very nice summer sweater. Now, what I forgot to do was to increase the stitch dial tension by a full number. So I'm probably going to have to do more swatches with this, but I like the result. This will make a very nice summer sweater. Oh, I like this. Anyway, I am not sure at all that these, this will come out to the gauge that Irene gave us. This is my first swatch with this yarn. And next time I will try to remember to do the main tension one full stitch higher. But I'll measure this and I'll see how it comes out and, make adjustments accordingly. So that's it. When you're finished with the Mylar card, and you want to remove it, you set this RR, and it will go back to the very beginning before the set line. Okay, so I'm gonna push this, and you can see it going back, and oh, it goes up to the set line. okay, so that you're ready for the second yoke, if you like, to set that. So there you are. There it is. I hope this was not too wobbly. I'm not a professional, okay?